So, have you ever randomly opened up the Bible and wondered why God seemed so mad? Have you ever looked up a Bible story and wondered what the context was, say, where it fit into world history or how it connected to the rest of the whole story of the Bible? The Bible makes more sense when you look at the big picture, the meta-narrative, and also hear the entire story of the Bible chronologically. The Bible is a collection of 66 books with one persistent theme. A loving, living God is pursuing a lost people. So let's go from Revelation to Genesis, the beginning all the way to the end together. I'm going to do some hand motions to help you sort of keep your balance and bearing on where we are. So you've got creation, you've got the fall, the flood, the table, the tower, the shift, meaning God changes things from that big picture to singular people: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. Okay, so let's do it again. Creation, the fall, the flood, the table, the tower, the shift. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. After Joseph, the people are in Egypt. They go out during the Exodus. Oh, they mess up and they sin. So they wander in the wilderness 40 years. They get a second chance. They go in with Joshua with victory, but then they spiral down in the time of the judges in defeat. Well, the last judge is Samuel, and he anoints the first king. So this is our crown. That's Saul. Then there's David, David's son Solomon, then Solomon's son Rehoboam. Then the kingdom splits. Israel to the north, Judah to the south. Israel had no good kings and was quickly taken off into Assyria by that nation. Then in the south, Judah, they had some good kings, so you get the thumbs up. But then they were taken over into Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar. That was the time of Esther, Zerubbabel, Ezra, and Nehemiah. So how are you doing so far? You want to do it with me? Let's start at the beginning. Creation, the fall, the flood, the table, the tower, the shift, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph. From Egypt they go out in the Exodus. Oh, they mess up. They wander 40 years. The second generation goes in with Joshua in victory. Then they spiral down with the judges in defeat. All right, how'd you do? All right, so after the judges, the last judge is Samuel. He anoints Saul, then David, then Solomon. Kingdom splits. Israel to the north, Judah to the south. No good kings, they're taken up to Assyria. Some good kings, they're taken into exile into Babylon. Some of those people come back and they start rebuilding the wall, rebuilding the city of Jerusalem. And then there's this period of quiet. And in that period of quiet, there are 4 different phases. You've got the Medes and the Persians who rule, and you've got the Greeks, then you've got a period of Jewish independence, and then you've got the Roman rule. It's during the time of the Roman rule that we meet John the Baptist and Jesus. So now we're into the New Testament. But you might say, well, Suzanne, wait, what about all of those other books in the Bible? All those prophet people? Well, those prophet people were employed by God during the time of the kings, when they were just totally forgetting God, going away from Him, forgetting Him. And so God was saying, look, I love you. Come back to me. All these things that you're doing, these choices you're making, they're terrible for you. Stop it. If you don't, there are going to be consequences to your choices. Choose me, choose life. Otherwise, these consequences are going to be devastating. Well, during the time of those prophets, the people didn't choose God, and that's when they were taken into exile. Then you've got that 400 years of silence with the Medes, the Persians, then the Greeks, then the Jewish independence, and then the Romans. Then we meet John the Baptist, and then we meet Jesus. Well, the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are about Jesus's life, his birth specifically, and then his youth. There's not much about his youth. Then his teachings, his friends, his trials, his denials, his crucifixion, and then ultimately his resurrection. Then you go from the Gospels into the book of Acts. It's the Acts of the Holy Spirit and the Acts of the Apostles. They focus mainly on Peter and Paul. Then the rest of the New Testament is just very briefly how to be a church and how to be a Christian. You get to the very final book in the New Testament, and it's the book of prophecy for the New Testament, and it's called Revelation, written by John, the disciple John. And it's mainly focusing us on events that will lead us up ultimately to heaven, our home. So that's the big chronological picture of the Bible. I hope that helps you make sense of everything. Replay this a couple of times so that you can get the hand motions down, especially for the Old Testament. Now, if you want a copy of this and the hand motions and all that, go to our website, 7-men.tumblr.com, and there all that information is there for you. Download it. You can have it for yourself. Teach it to your kids, your Sunday school classes. My whole big clan knows it. It's really, really fun to see the little kids do it. So anyway, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.